Hi, I'm Singh. I am an instructional specialist, a learning and development professional with over 26 years of experience in education and leadership. Thank you for the opportunity to present today. I'd like to show you how I approach instructional design. My career began as an elementary school teacher, which gave me a solid understanding of how people learn. From there, I transitioned into instructional technology and eventually corporate instructional design. Throughout my career, I've designed learning experiences for diverse audiences, from children to executives and everyone in between. Because I've worked across multiple industries: education, finance, retail, government, military, and public administration, I've learned that effective instructional design always begins with understanding the learner and the performance expectations. My instructional design philosophy is based on putting people first. It is performance focused, business aligned, evidence based, and focuses on continuous improvement. Every project begins by asking, what does success look like? What are the learning objectives? What are the expectations? Everything else flows from those answers. When designing a course, I begin with a needs analysis, next task analysis. Then I decide how to design the learning environment and experience. Then I focus on development and implementation. Finally, I focus on the assessment and evaluation. Although I often use the ADDIE framework, I don't follow it rigidly. As a teacher, I like using Gagne's 9 events of instruction with Bloom's taxonomy. Each project requires its own unique approach. Across all methodologies, my focus remains the same: identify the needs and performance gap, design around measurable objectives, build engaging and interactive learning experiences, look at the success indicators and measurable impact, and then improve continuously. During the needs analysis, the questions I ask are: what business problems are we solving? Who is the learner? What are they doing today? What should they be doing? What barriers exist? Is training actually the solution? Not every problem requires training. Sometimes the issue is unclear leadership expectations, unfamiliar processes, outdated documentation, lack of resources, or technology issues. A thorough needs analysis helps determine whether training is appropriate before development begins. For job and task analysis, I typically make my way through these steps: interview SMEs, observe work, review SOPs, analyze workflows, identify critical tasks, knowledge gaps, skills, decision points, learning objectives, performance standards, deliverables, and assessment strategy. This process helps me map out the course design and create a successful learning experience. The e-learning development tools I use the most are Articulate Storyline and Rise 360 Captivate, Camtasia and Final Cut Pro, Adobe Creative Suite, Canva, Synthesia, and Figma. I use numerous learning management systems over the past 2 decades, such as Cornerstone, Absorb, Canvas, Intellum, and so many more. How I choose the right tool: for complex simulations, Storyline; for responsive courses, Rise; for software demos, Camtasia; for video animation, Vyond or Synthesia; for quick reference guides, Canva; and for interactive graphics, Figma. I select the tool that best supports the learning objective. For example, if learners need a detailed module with interactivity, Storyline will work best. If speed and mobility are priorities, Rise is the better choice. For passive learning that needs to be entertaining, Vyond or Synthesia work best. When working with SMEs and stakeholders, a healthy rapport and professional partnership is key. I establish the project goals, our roles, a timeline, review cycles, and communication plans. I ask SMEs, what does success look like? What mistakes do most people make? What separates average from excellent performers? What should learners remember 6 months later? Subject matter experts understand the content. Instructional designers understand how people learn. Successful projects happen when those two areas of expertise work together. Creating frequent checkpoint avoids surprises and maintains alignment throughout development. When evaluating effectiveness, I typically use the Kirkpatrick evaluation model: level 1, reaction; level 2, learning; level 3, behavior; and level 4, results. I also evaluate completion rates, assessment scores, manager feedback, performance metrics, learner confidence, business KPIs, job performance, and learner feedback. Completion rates don't tell us if the content was absorbed or if learning occurred. I prefer measuring whether employees can perform the desired behaviors on the job. When possible, I connect training outcomes to measurable business results that are performed on the job. My most recent project was for a financial institution. They needed a course for new hires on all their products and services. This project involved multiple SMEs who each had different opinions about what learners needed. They each had different priorities with very tight deadlines. Before jumping directly into development, I first created a shared storyboard centered on agreed upon learning objectives. That document became our guide. Because everyone reviewed the instructional approach before development began, revisions were significantly reduced and I delivered the project on schedule. Investing time early in agreement saved time later in development. I am coming to you with over 2 decades of classroom teaching experience. I know how to deliver content and instruction to diverse learners of all ages. I've worked in numerous industries, giving me insight into how people learn and perform with the right training. I've worked with numerous subject matter experts, and I know how to establish and maintain positive work relationships. I use data to inform and improve my methods, and I understand what makes great and impactful teaching. I enjoy translating complex information into learning experiences that are clear, engaging, and meaningful. Whether the audience consists of new hires, senior leaders, or experienced professionals, my goal is to create learning that improves confidence and performance. Thank you for watching, and I now welcome any questions you may have.